Part 1. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1. Tianyuan Continent. Southern Ming Dynasty, Jikou City. I didn't expect that I would become like this. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. He was killed by a cannon, and now he has traveled through time? A wave of memories that didn't belong to him came flooding back. Now this body is also called Xiaoxian, and he died because of his cultivation. Before that, he had become one of the strongest men in the local area due to his cultivation that was beyond the peak. One step away from entering the golden body stage also makes the Xiao family's position stable in this world. However, the death of the original head of the family was not an accident, but a result of taking the healing elixir sent by his trusted brother. He became obsessed and eventually died. Even if he traveled through time and took over this body, his original cultivation level would still be at the low level of spiritual cultivation, which would be incomparable. The 8 realms of cultivation are divided into Qi training, bone tempering, spiritual nourishment, rebirth, golden body, spirit transformation, laws and great ways. Each realm is divided into 9 stages. Even if he can practice normally, it will take several years to reach the peak of rebirth. Not to mention, there are still residual toxins in his body. No matter which one, it is a fatal blow. Xiao Xian exhaled heavily. With such a body, how can he lead the family forward in the long run? When family disciples are bullied, what do you do to protect them? Ding, the god-level patriarch system is being activated, and it is now starting to bind the host. This system allows the host to see the loyalty of each clan member. Ding, system binding is successful. The novice gift package is being sent, the host can click on the main panel to view it. Broken Realm Pill 1, Wu Ji 1, Creation Dragon Blood Battle Body, System Redemption Points *10. A necessary system for time travel? Xiao Xian was shocked. The gloom has also been swept away. With the system in place, your original worries are nothing to worry about. The host's injury has been detected and the first repair is in progress. In one breath, all his injuries were healed. And because he acquired a special physique, the Dragon Blood combat body, his combat effectiveness has soared to a qualitative level. Looking at the powerful fist, a trace of determination flashed in Xiao Xian's eyes. System, where is your instruction manual? The host only needs to imagine the main panel in his mind, and the corresponding section will appear. Just select the desired item, which also includes checking loyalty. Loyalty can make it easier for the host to manage the cultivation level and progress of the clan members. Isn't this thing similar to the mobile phone model? It's just that it's a plug-in. Xiao Xian imagined the poging pill in the main panel in his mind, and a cool feeling passed through his mouth. I feel an overbearing warmth in my dantian and the blood in my body is constantly circulating. Xiao Xian immediately meditated to adjust his breath. After a while, with Xiao Xian as the center point, the surrounding air turned into nothingness and spread outward, crushing the surrounding stones into ashes. Xiao Xian looked at the scene in disbelief. Is this the rank of a strong man with a golden body? It's just the flow of air during a breakthrough that can turn nothingness into substance. What if it's other techniques? Xiao Xian couldn't hold back the ecstasy in his heart. Poging pill not only restored his cultivation, but also successfully helped him break through the threshold of cultivation that impacted the golden body. Become the strongest person among the major families in Jikou City. The original head of the family thought about breaking through this level until his death, otherwise he would not have died with hatred. Since I have inherited your identity, I will avenge you. Thinking of that traitor, Xiao Xian's heart ignited with overwhelming anger. That man was not only a member of the family, but also his sworn brother. The original head of the family had saved him from fire and water several times. But in the end, he got a fatal healing pill. Perhaps, the death of the original head of the family was not just a matter of the elixir, but also the anger of his brother's betrayal, and, chilling feeling. Ding, mission released. Kill the traitor Li Juyi and disrupt the conspiracy of the other two families and the county magistrate. After completing the task, you will receive prefecture-level rewards. Xiao Xian sneered. Li Juyi, the sworn brother of the original family leader, a traitor to the family, and the culprit who killed him. Even without this mission, the first thing he did after going out was to kill Li Juyi. What exactly is the reward? According to the completion progress of the host, one Earth-level reward can be worth 5 Beijing pills. One realm-breaking pill can greatly increase his cultivation level and break through the realm, which can be worth 5 Earth-level rewards. Even though the original owner's feelings for Li Juyi were still in his body, Xiao Xian knew that he couldn't be soft this time. The story of the farmer and the snake is the best example. Xiao family. Two elders, what's wrong with you admitting that I am the new head of the Xiao family? With my current strength, I can lead you to great success and reach the legendary realm, which is just around the corner. Even Xiao Xian, oh no, the first family master was only at the peak of rebirth until his death, but I have now reached the great perfection of rebirth. It is only a matter of time before I reach the peak. Why do you have any hesitation? In the inner hall of the Xiao family, Li Juyi patted the non-existent dust on his body proudly. Standing next to him were the deputy heads of the Lin family and the Murong family. Xiao Jueshan, the elder of the Xiao family, became very angry after hearing this. This despicable man brought the two deputy heads of the Lin family and the Murong family to put pressure on them. Even if they want to take action, they must take care of those two people. Li Juyi, our master is not kind to you. He is just retreating to heal his wounds. But you actually colluded with outsiders to usurp the position of the head of the family. Pooh. Li Juyi smiled instead of being angry. Xiao Jueshan is just an elder. When Xiao Xian was here, even he didn't dare to speak loudly to me. Are you worthy? In his eyes, these people are just ants that can be crushed with just a few fingers. Xiao Jueshan was even more angry when he heard this, and Luck was going to fight Li Juyi. Another elder, Xiao Jianfeng, grabbed him. Jueshan, please be patient and don't be impatient. Xiao Jianfeng's eyes swept over Deputy Clan Lin and Deputy Clan Murong. No matter how angry Xiao Jueshan was, he still knew what it meant. Deputy Clan Lin, Deputy Clan Murong, the Xiao family has family matters to deal with today, so please come back another day. Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan looked at each other and smiled. Not only did he have no intention of leaving, he also looked at them like a master. I'm sorry, Lin can't obey. Today I was invited by Li Juyi. I can't go against his wishes. Murong Kuangshan bowed his hands and looked sanctimonious. I was also invited by Brother Lin, so I can't help but obey. Xiao Jianfeng is old, but he is not stupid. The intentions of these three people are clearly written on their faces. Li Juyi is just a person with a foreign surname. He is not worthy of inviting others into the house. He is not worthy of making decisions for our Xiao family. Now please leave immediately. Lin Wenchen sneered. As far as I know, Li Juyi is not only a close confidant of the Xiao family, but also the sworn brother of Jinlan. The two of them are brothers, so why can't they make the decision? Old Xiao, apart from Li Juyi, there is probably no one else in the Xiao family who can make the decision. Murong Kuangshan smiled heartily. No matter how calm Xiao Jianfeng's character was, he couldn't bear the verbal humiliation from the two of them. But if he really wanted to take action, he and Xiao Jueshan could save their lives, but what about the others? That's a descendant of their Xiao family. What happened today? Aren't you afraid that the head of the family will come out of seclusion to settle accounts with you in the future? When Lin Wenchen and others heard this, a look of fear appeared on their faces. Xiao Xian was decisive in killing and put the interests of his family first. If he really knew what happened today, they might not even be able to find all the bones. Li Jui chuckled. He took a few steps forward and stood sideways in front of Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng. Looking at the position of the head of the family that is within reach in front of him. Since we came in, you have sent out no less than 3 groups of people, right? What? Xiao Xian hasn't come back yet. Xiao Jueshan pointed angrily at Li Juyi, the anger in his chest ready to come out. You did it on purpose. You just took advantage of the fact that the head of the family was seriously injured to occupy the magpie nest. Haha, even if I don't come, your head will never come back. Li Juyi's hands groped back and forth on the chair that symbolized power. Xiao Jianfeng and Xiao Jueshan looked at each other, feeling a little uneasy in their hearts. A certain idea flashed through their minds, but they were strongly rejected. I guess I'm already on my way to hell by now. Seeing the killing looks in Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng's eyes, Li Juyi took a step back and patted his chest. Why are you looking at me like this? Your family master just took fake elixirs and went crazy while exercising to heal his injuries. I didn't kill him, so why does he look like he hates me so much? I am here today to inherit the position of the head of the family and lead you to a new future. Those who know the current affairs are heroes. Those who don't want to die should think about it for themselves. The pride in Li Juyi's heart could not be suppressed and trembled from his throat. Even his words were trembling, and the pride in the corners of his eyes and brows stung the eyes of every Xiao family member present. He has been planning this day for a long time. Bastard! Li Juyi. Today I will teach you a lesson on behalf of the head of the family. Xiao Jianfeng was extremely angry and struck at Li Juyi with thunderous force. Bang bang. But after only 2 encounters, Li Juyi was seriously injured and fell to the ground. Even his internal organs and lungs felt like they were shocked. Xiao Jianfeng, how dare you challenge someone who is just an intermediate level? Since you are looking for death, then I will give you a ride. Maybe you can meet Xiao Xian on the road to hell now? Ha 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 ha. Li Juyi stepped on Xiao Jianfeng's wrist and crushed it with all his strength. He looked at Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan beside him with a calm expression on his face. 2 deputy chiefs, you 2 have a job today to raid the formation. When the matter is completed, the position of elder of the Xiao family will belong to you. You 2 have the right to dispatch and use everything in the Xiao family. Lin Wenchen smiled heartily, turned his hands into claws, and looked at the people in front of him viciously. Brother Juyi is serious. Brother Murong and I are just cleaning up the demon cultivators for you. Murong Kuangshan moved his feet slightly, and the ground cracked and sank. With dust flying in front of Xiao Jianfeng. What Deputy Clan Chief Lin said is absolutely true. We have already heard that there are demon cultivators in the Xiao family. Just think about the 2 elders Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng. If the head of the Xiao Xian family were still alive, I'm afraid he would be chilled by what you did. Old Murong, we'd better clean up these remnants as soon as possible. If we keep them, we'll only cause endless disasters. After speaking, the 2 launched an attack on Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng. Zhao Zhao wants to kill them. But at this moment, a deep voice broke the deadlock. I heard that you want to clean up the house for me. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 2. The closed door of the Xiao family was suddenly blasted open. A figure walked slowly. Master! Master! Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng shouted in unison. Li Juyi's expression changed drastically and he turned around sharply. He was horrified when he saw the tall figure standing at the door holding a sword. Damn it! Xiao Xian should have gone crazy and died at this time. How would it appear here? Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan were also frightened, seeing panic in each other's eyes. The 2 of them looked at Li Juyi at the same time, seeming to question him, Didn't you say that the elixir is extremely poisonous and Xiao Xian is dead? Li Juyi, what's going on? However, the other party was no less shocked than the two of them. Li Juyi looked at Xiao Xian, who came in with a sword, and felt an unprecedented panic in his heart. It's the head of the family. The head of the family is back. Li Go, look how arrogant you are. Isn't it just a dog raised by the owner of the house? With a little sweetness, he really thinks he is a human being. He also wants to be the owner. Bah! You don't judge your own abilities, and you don't urinate to reflect on your own virtue. When everyone in the Xiao family saw the figure slowly walking towards the door, all their suppressed emotions were released at this moment. This is their reliance and their belief. The moment Xiao Jueshan and elder Xiao Ji Unfeng saw Xiao Xian appear, the tight strings in their hearts relaxed. Feeling the change in Xiao Xian's aura, the two of them were even more surprised. The owner of the family has made a breakthrough. Lin Wenchen and Murong Quangshan's faces were filled with fear. Seeing that Xiao Xian not only survived, but also successfully broke through the realm and appeared in front of him, a sense of fear engraved in his bones arose spontaneously. If they knew that Xiao Xian was not dead, even if the entire Xiao family was handed over to them, they would not come here. The great thing about Xiao Xian is that even when their clan leader comes, he has to show courtesy. Now Xiao Xian has broken through the golden body, a state that no one in Jiggle City can reach. Even the lord of Jiggle City and their family patriarch were embarrassed in the presence. What's more, the two of them. At this time, Li Juyi no longer looked as high-spirited as before. Even the body is shaking slightly. This is the fear engraved deep in the brain. He has been with Xiao Xian for many years and knows his character best. Xiao Xian is a person with clear grudges. You can't be kind to your own people, especially the Xiao family. But against the outside world and the enemy, kill decisively. The sword in Xiao Xian's hand has a scarlet murderous aura because it is stained with the blood of countless enemies. Before, Li Juyi thought that Xiao Xian was dead, so he used the interests of the Xiao family as a bargaining chip and invited the deputy heads of the Lin family and the Murong family to come here to help him seize the throne. Now he just felt like his head was buzzing. Xiao Xian. You are not alive, you are a ghost, just a ghost, right? Xiao Xian stood opposite Li Juyi with his sword in hand, and said softly. A mere fake elixir can't save my life. I can't live up to my wish. Are you disappointed? After all, you have contributed a lot to my breakthrough to the golden body realm. Impossible. The Hunyuan pill is tailor-made for you. Even in your heyday, you can't resist it, let alone being seriously injured. It will not only make you lose all your cultivation, but also kill you. How can it help you? Break through the realm. Li Juyi roared like a madman. It's fake. It must be fake. Tell me. Who are you pretending to be, a monster? Stop pretending to be a ghost here. Xiao Xian stared at Li Juyi like a clown. The original head of the family never imagined that his former good brother would not only attack him, but also want to occupy the entire Xiao family industry. Enemy analysis. Li Juyi, reborn Dzogchen, whose real name is Viper, one of the 4 generals of the Blood Sword sect, God Dragon Blood Lord. After the annihilation of the Xiao family, the Blood Knife sect was spying on the Xiao family's treasure, so they asked Li Juyi to hide his identity, become a sworn brother to the head of the Xiao family, and stay with him to assist him, just to wait for another attack on the Xiao family and the Xiao family's treasure. The systematic explanation was like a pebble dropped on a calm sea, arousing turmoil in Xiao Xian's heart. He originally thought that Li Juyi was just suffocated by his own halo, so he thought of fighting back to prove himself. I didn't expect him to hide it so deeply. It has started since the battle when the Xiao family was wiped out. He will never forget that war in his life. Back then, he was just one of the most talented direct descendants of the Xiao family. The Xiao family was also one of the big families in Tianyuan continent. In its heyday, even the Nanming dynasty was afraid of him. Later, his father brought back an exotic treasure, which was known by Shenlong Suejun and other evil cult forces, and led by the Blood Knife sect launched an attack on the Xiao family. The elders of the Xiao family resisted desperately, and the senior officials tried their best to cover the escape of the remaining direct descendants, but they were ambushed and suppressed by the other three major cults. In the end, under the protection of several elders Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng, only he and a few direct descendants escaped and lived here incognito. Xiao family. On that night, the entire clan was almost wiped out. You've been hiding by my side for so long and you still don't know who I am. Right, Viper? The last two words came out of Xiao Xian's mouth with an invisible force. If Li Jui hadn't escaped in time, his face would have been filled with blood holes. Li Jui's pupils trembled and his brain started buzzing. Seeing Xiao Xian calm and understanding, the shock in my heart was indescribable. Just as Xiao Xian was about to take further action, orderly footsteps came from outside the door. Two lines of soul-nurturing realm teams entered side by side outside the door, headed by Deputy City Lord Lu Wuliang. I heard that the head of the Xiao family was seriously injured and that a demon cultivator appeared in the family. This Deputy City Lord brought people here to help. I don't know if it's too late. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 3. Lu Wuliang, the deputy city lord of Jigu City, was about 50, with a fat belly and a sinister face when he smiled. The team following him divided into two groups to surround the children of the Xiao family present. Lu Wuliang smiled and patted Li Jui on the shoulder. Thanks to the good brother of the head of the family who told me in time, otherwise I wouldn't have known that the Xiao family was still harboring evildoers. Everyone in the Xiao family was filled with anger when they saw Lu Wuliang coming with the spirit-nurturing team. Who doesn't know that Lu Wuliang is a profit-seeking person who can't afford to be early without profit? If Li Jui hadn't promised him a favor, if the Xiao family was really in trouble, not only would he not have helped, but he would have added to the trouble and divided up the Xiao family's treasure. Oh? Then do you know who he is? Xiao Xian sneered, turning a blind eye to Lu Wuliang's surrounding behavior. He is the subordinate of the divine dragon blood lord, Viper. Lu Wuliang's face changed color when he heard this. Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan also realized that they had been tricked by Li Jui. But in the blink of an eye, Lu Wuliang returned to normal. There may be some misunderstanding. Could Brother Lin be framed? Lu Wu looked at the faint anger emanating from Xiao Xian's eyes and knew that this matter was closely connected. But he has already received Li Jui's benefits. If he withdraws at this time, will the treasure he got have to be vomited out again? No one can make mistakes without being a sage. If he is really a viper, he has stayed in the Xiao family for so many years. Not only has he not done any harm to the Xiao family, he has also brought great benefits. Even if the head of the Xiao family does not look at the monk, he will look at the Buddha's face. Seeing that Xiao Xian was unmoved and even gathering strength to attack, Lu Wuliang's expression also turned gloomy. Why, you don't even pay attention to me, the deputy city lord. Even if you can escape unscathed, what about your clan members? I advise you to think carefully before taking action. Xiao Xian sneered and teleported in front of Lu Wuliang. The killing intent in his eyes made him dare not even breathe. When he came to his senses, Xiao Xian had already retreated to the door. Li Jui exuded demonic power, his eyes were scarlet, and he attacked Xiao Xian with strange moves. He knew that there was no chance of winning against Xiao Xian. But he also wanted to bet on the influence brought by the remaining poison of the Hunyuan pill, and bet that Xiao Xian was just a comeback. Seeing Xiao Xian keep retreating, Not even daring to draw his sword, he laughed like a maniac. Xiaoxian, you are dead. So what if you forcefully break through the golden body? You are not going to die? Just let me give you a ride. Xiaoxian was still retreating. When Li Jui approached, everyone only saw a flash of sword light. The next second, Li Jui's body split into two, and he fell to the ground with a face full of horror. Dead, dead. The cultivation level of the Dzogchen was unexpectedly killed by a sword. The master of the family is mighty. The master of the family is mighty. Everyone in the Xiao family came to their senses in shock. This was their head. Killing a demon cultivator who was reborn in Dzogchen is simply not worth mentioning. At this time, Xiao Xian was looking at Lin Wenchen, Murong Kuangshan and the deputy city lord with a half smile. The scalps of the three of them were numb as they were stared at. It felt like being stared at by a poisonous snake, but you couldn't do anything. The scene before Li Jui died made them even more heartbroken. At this point, there is no turning back. Lu Wuliang knew very well that if Xiao Xian died today, he would be the one who died. Now that it had been made clear, he did not believe that these dozens of soul-nurturing monks could not defeat a mere golden body. Xiao Xian, you are so brave. You actually killed people in front of the deputy city lord. You are so arrogant just after breaking through the golden body realm. You don't even care about human life. If you continue to cultivate further, this will not be lawless. Come on. Get Xiao Xian. When the deputy heads of the Lin family and Murong family saw this, they had no choice but to agree. The only way to save his own life is to fight against Xiao Xian with Lu Wuliang and eliminate him completely. Xiao Xian, it is a great joy for you to break through the golden body realm, but you should never kill someone. This is an illegal crime. But if you stop the loss in time, the deputy city lord will also treat you lightly. Punishment. Yes, yes, even if you can rely on your own cultivation to fight to the death with the spiritual cultivator, what about your Xiao family children? You have to think about them, Xiao Xian, you better not make unnecessary resistance. The two knew that if Xiao Xian was really angry, even if dozens of soul-nurturing cultivators came, they would not be able to defeat him alone. But no matter how powerful he is, he still has to worry about his people, right? Xiao Xian sneered. The three of them did not mention anything about Li Jui being a demon cultivator, and even used his tribe to force him to submit. Seeing the anxious and worried faces of the tribesmen, Xiao Xian's eyes became even colder. If he really gives up fighting back, will these people let his people go and give the Xiao family a piece of pure land? What's more, what he got rid of was a traitor who betrayed him, and he was a demon cultivator. Just met with such resistance. Xiao Xian's eyes fell on the seriously injured Xiao Jianfeng, and his eyes were cold. Since they are unkind, don't blame yourself for not giving up. Elder Jueshan, pass on the order. Demonic cultivators appeared in the Xiao family. Deputy Clan Chief Lin and Deputy Clan Murong came to help with their troops. However, they were unfortunately killed during the battle with the demonic cultivators. The deputy city lord was also seriously injured in the desperate struggle with the demonic cultivators. Was attacked by a demonic cultivator and died. My master broke through the golden body realm and fought with the demonic cultivator, and managed to kill the demonic cultivator even though he was seriously injured. What? Everyone present was shocked. Not only did Xiao Xian not intend to surrender, he even wanted to kill them. Looking at Li Jui who was dead on the ground, the disbelief in everyone's eyes was slowly replaced by fear. Lu Wuliang's heartbeat was beating like a drum and he forced himself to calm down. He didn't believe that Xiao Xian really dared to take action against his deputy. Xiao Xian, I am the deputy city lord. I am the official of the dynasty. Are you afraid that I will report this matter to the city lord? Even if you have great abilities, you will not be able to save your people. Xiao Xian looked at him calmly. The deputy city lord is wrong. You were killed by a demon cultivator. What does it have to do with me? You, Before Lu Wuliang could say anything, he felt warm liquid flowing out of his throat, and his body fell straight into a pool of blood. Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan looked at Lu Wuliang, whose identity was at the head, and fled outside without even stopping. What are you still doing? Xiao Xian even killed the deputy city lord. Why don't you hurry up and kill Xiao Xian and his clan members? You hurt my elder, intended to destroy my Xiao family, and wanted to take my life, but you still left unharmed. You really think that I, Xiao Xian, am a vegetarian? Clang. A flash of sword light flashed, and Lin Wenchen and Murong Kuangshan, who were escaping, turned around subconsciously. Something seemed to have penetrated their chests, but when they lowered their heads, they found two bloody holes. The two of them pointed at Xiao Xian in disbelief. Before he could speak, blood was already flowing out. The three-party troops surrounding the Xiao family saw that the leader was already dead. Xiao Xian's strength was so terrifying that it was unknown who in the crowd made the move. Kill Xiao Xian. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 4. A sound of urging. Kill Xiao Xian. Kill Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian looked at them indifferently. He originally wanted to recruit these people. After all, cultivation is not easy. Even so, why should he be merciful? With a wave of the long sword, his thin lips opened slightly. Kill. In an instant, swords flashed, led by Xiao Xian, assisted by Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng, and attacked the three parties. Xiao Xian's attack was fierce and ruthless. Within half an hour, in addition to the Xiao family's children, thousands of monks died here, including dozens of first-level monks. Elder Jueshan, informed the other elders to gather in the conference room. Xiao Xian only glanced at the corpse on the ground and stepped over Li Juyu's body with an expressionless expression. In a world where the jungle prevails, only the strong have the absolute right to speak and survive. Within a moment, the 9 elders, including Xiao Jueshan, and other senior members had gathered in the conference room. Today's battle made them feel very heavy. If Xiao Xian had not appeared in time, the tragedy of genocide that year would have happened again. Master, everyone is here. Xiao Xian nodded slightly and looked at everyone present. There are dozens of people in the reborn realm, with Xiao Jueshan as the leader and the most powerful. Including Xiao Jianfeng, Xiao Qingshan, Xiao Qingyun, Xiao Jiankai, Xiao Ding, Xiao Bang, Xiao Suo, and other 8 elders, their strength is between the 5th level of rebirth and the 7th level of rebirth, and the other high-level members are around the 1st level of rebirth. After having the precedent of Li Juyi, Xiao Xian was also wary of them. Family member loyalty test completed, there are currently no family traitors present. After using the system's loyalty query, Xiao Xian felt relieved. What do you think of today's events? Everyone looked at each other, and then Xiao Jueshan raised his hands and stepped forward. Master, today's battle is inevitable. The Lin and Murong families have already been eyeing the Xiao family. Li Juyu's invitation is just an excuse. Yes, Lu Wuliang went too far to deceive others. Not only did he exert pressure as the deputy city lord, he also confused right and wrong, intending to murder the family head and put our Xiao family to death. We can't bear this kind of humiliation. Xiao Xian nodded. Lin, the Murong family and the city lord's mansion have gone too far to bully others. We cannot bear this tone and cannot change the story. For now, we have to think of a countermeasure. Xiao Bang looked around and took a step forward. Now that the last fig leaf has been pulled back, the Xiao family can take this opportunity to develop their own family and break the situation of the 3 families. Xiao Jueshan and Xiao Jianfeng took the lead in nodding. Although the Xiao family has been hiding from the world for many years, they have been secretly accumulating strength, waiting for the day when they can once again carry forward the Xiao family. Now the head of the family has broken through the golden body realm, and there are more than 30 monks in the family who are above the reincarnation realm. Today their actions give us an opportunity to take action. As soon as this statement came out, everyone present agreed. It was time to avenge the blood feud of the Xiao family. In this case, elders, please be prepared and wait for the order from the head of the family. I will obey the instructions of my master. As everyone left, black after images kept appearing outside the Xiao family, and this was their messenger. Xiao Xian, who was standing high up, looked at all this and nodded with satisfaction. Then he went back to his room and concentrated on getting into the system. It's time to go back and collect the award. At this time, in the city lord's mansion, the city lord and the clan heads of the Lin and Murong families were walking slowly to the hall to prepare for a gathering. The two clan leaders are here, come and take a seat, the city lord asked the two of them to go inside as he walked. There was a lot of singing and dancing, and it was very lively. After 3 rounds of drinking, the 3 of them were a little drunk. The city lord called a few dancers to beat their shoulders and legs for them, which was very pleasant. I'm afraid the Xiao family will not be at peace today. The city lord put down his wine glass and smacked his lips in recollection, seeming to be very satisfied with the glass of wine. 3 parties are attacking the Xiao family. I'm afraid even the whole family's resistance will be in vain, let alone Xiao Xian. The head of the Lin family laughed pointedly. In that case, I would like to congratulate the 2 clan leaders. The city lord held up his wine glass and smiled lightly. The head of the Lin family and the head of the Murong family looked at each other and saw their own hearts in each other's eyes. Once the Xiao family is destroyed, the empire that Xiao Xian has built over the years will be theirs. They are eager to see through the Xiao family's assets. It's time for us to congratulate the city lord for finally eradicating the serious trouble in his heart. That Xiao Xian relied on his superb cultivation level and went his own way, and even you didn't look down on him. Now that this cancer has been removed, it is simply the greatest joy. Having said this, the city lord sighed slightly. If Xiao Xian hadn't disobeyed discipline, disobeyed my orders many times, acted cruelly and ruthlessly, and I was worried that he would do things that were detrimental to the people and the dynasty in the future, how could I have come to Li Juyi when he came to ask for help? Agree without hesitation? In fact, Xiao Xian's death is a heartbreaking thing for me. As he spoke, he symbolically hit his chest. The head of the Lin family and the head of the Murong family looked at each other with contempt in their hearts. The city lord drank a glass of wine with his head down. Although he was an official of the court and the lord of the city, his prestige was not as good as Xiao Xian's. When there were several natural disasters, he ordered an increase in taxes to boost people's fighting spirit and ambition, and he also drove all refugees and sick people, old, young, sick, and disabled out of the city to maintain stability inside the city. But not only did Xiao Xian not support him, he actually turned against himself. Not only did he block the increase in taxes, he also set up a refugee camp outside the city and led the Xiao family children to support him, which caused more people to lean towards him. He obviously hated Xiao Xian deeply, but he was also afraid of his strength, which made him feel powerless. So when Li Juyi came to ask for help, coupled with his promises, he agreed to form an alliance without hesitation. If Xiao Xian is not completely eradicated this time, his fame and prestige will become greater and greater in the future, and even after he truly becomes the largest family, he will not even be able to touch a hair on his head. Thinking of this, a trace of ruthlessness flashed in his eyes, and when he looked up at the heads of the Lin and Murong families, he turned into a look of understanding and righteousness. If Xiao Xian is really dead, I'm afraid there will be a bloody storm. I don't know whether what Li Juyi said is true or false. Hearing this, the heads of the 2 families looked at each other. The head of the Murong family raised his hands and smiled and said, "City Lord, you can rest assured. We have asked the old father to come out. The Xiao family was besieged by soldiers from 3 parties. Xiao Jianfeng was seriously injured by Li Juyi. Even if the other elders we can't resist even if we join forces. My old father was attracted by an energy wave in the back mountain. He originally wanted to take advantage of it, but found that the energy suddenly dissipated when he was about to break through. He couldn't even find the slightest breath. It seems that Xiao Xian not only failed to break through, and risked his life. After hearing this, the city lord nodded with satisfaction and poured wine for the 2 of them. That being the case, I would like to congratulate the 2 clan leaders for getting their wish. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 5. The head of the Lin family and the head of the Murong family drank the wine in one gulp. They were bound to get the Xiao family's assets. Just as a few people were preparing to return home to their fullest, a servant suddenly broke into the door with an anxious look on his face. Something bad has happened, city lord. You bastard, you're blind. Didn't you see that the city lord is hosting a banquet for clan chief Lin and clan Murong? Get out of here. The city lord roared angrily, and the wine glass in his hand shattered in front of the servant. But the service couldn't control that much, so he knelt on the ground. Xiao Xian came out of seclusion from the back mountain. Not only that, Li Juyi was actually a demon cultivator. Even Deputy Clan Chief Lin and Deputy Clan Murong died tragically at his hands. The Deputy City Lord and the demon cultivator resisted desperately and were ultimately defeated. Died. It was Xiao Xian who arrived in time to fight the demon cultivator to the death, and then killed him. What? The 3 of them were shocked. Not only was Xiao Xian not dead, he also killed Li Juyi. I understand, please step back. The city lord felt a pain in his head and looked at the patriarchs of the Lin and Murong families. Since Xiao Xian came out of seclusion, he must have broken through the golden body realm. Now that Li Juyi is dead, his next target will definitely be you and me. How should we deal with it next? If Xiao Xian doesn't die, we will die. You 2 should think of a way. Xiao Xian was still at the peak of his rebirth, but he was already a feared figure in the entire Jiggle city. Not to mention breaking through the golden body realm now. Although there is only one realm, the disparity is thousands of miles apart. Even if the 3 of them join forces, they may not be able to hurt him at all. Patriarch Lin felt depressed. Then Xiao Xian may not dare to really take action. He still has to worry about those Xiao family children. Patriarch Murong also nodded, stood up and cupped his hands. My son has now become a disciple of Tianqian sect, and is the eldest disciple of Elder Changfeng. No matter how powerful he is, he still has to worry about this. What's more, you are the city lord of Jiggle City, and behind you is the Nanfan dynasty. Xiao Xian will know how powerful this is, not to mention that you have a blood relationship with the commander of the county and city. The head of the Lin family also strongly agreed. Although Xiao Xian has now broken through the golden body realm, Patriarch Murong and I both have 5th level cultivations, and the cultivation levels of you and my 2 ancestors are at the peak. Even if Xiao Xian really launches an attack, with the strength of the 5 of us, if we join forces, even if we can't take his life, it won't be a problem to seriously injure Xiao Xian. The city lord breathed a sigh of relief. There is also a cloud-piercing arrow in my house. This is a magical weapon only found in the Nanfan dynasty army. It cannot be resisted by ordinary golden bodies. With the combined efforts of the 5 of us, defeating Xiao Xian is a certainty. The head of the Lin family and the head of the Murong family were shocked. The cloud-piercing arrow has the ability to destroy a city. Not only is it fast, but its explosive power is even unstoppable to a strong man with a golden body. With the blessing of the magic weapon, the confidence of several people has greatly increased. Even if Xiao Xian really comes to attack, he will never come back. At the same time, Xiao Xian is receiving rewards in the system space. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully killing the traitor Li Juyi, breaking up the conspiracy between the deputy city lord and the Lin and Murong families, and receiving the reward, Chaos Eyes, which can spy on the origin of all things, and the cultivation realm has been upgraded to the 3rd level of the golden body. Due to the rapid completion of the host task, the novice critical hit reward was triggered. Get critical hit reward. The level of cultivation has been raised to the 5th level of the golden body. Immortal golden body experience card *2, immune to all attacks within 3 minutes. 50 acres of lower grade spiritual fields, all plants can be grown. Earth level Wuji Kung Fu *100, all monks above the spiritual level can practice it. Xian level Wuji Kung Fu *50, all reborn monks can practice it. Qili and Dan *2000, 3 free product, lead free, mercury free, no side effects, can be used with confidence. Kung Fu has no dragon technique, proficiency progress, 0.05%. Wuji Wanjian returns to the sect, proficiency progress, 10%. Feeling the changes in the breath in his body, Xiao Xian immediately meditated and began to adjust his breath. In an instant, Xiao Xian's original cultivation of the 1st level of the golden body was upgraded to the 5th level of the golden body. Under the irrigation of a large amount of spiritual energy, he felt relaxed all over his body. With his chaotic pupils, a cold look flashed in Xiao Xian's eyes. It's time to address the remaining hazards. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 6. Ding, a new mission has been released: destroy the city lord's mansion and the Lin and Murong families, making the Xiao family the largest family. Completing the mission can get generous rewards. Xiao Xian immediately became excited after hearing this. Early the next morning, everyone in the Xiao family was already waiting at Xiao Xian's door with great interest. Seeing Xiao Xian opening the door, Xiao Jueshan hurriedly stepped forward. Master, everything has been arranged, and everyone has arrived. We are just waiting for the master's order. All the monks in the clan who are in the spirit nurturing realm will follow me. Xiao Xian gave an order and led them towards the Lin family. Xiao Jueshan and other elders didn't know why they blocked him. Master, attacking the city lord's mansion and the Lin and Murong families is no small matter. If you bring the soul nurturing monks with you, it will be difficult for you to attack. Xiao Xian naturally knew what they were worried about. This battle with the spiritual cultivators is enough. Today's battle with the city lord's mansion, Lin, and Murong families is just the beginning of the rise of the Xiao family. If you elders are needed to do this, how can the Xiao family continue to prosper? Hearing this, the elders and senior officials no longer stood in the way. The rise of the Xiao family was inevitable. Although they were powerful, whether a family could go forward in the long run still depended on the new blood. It's just that we are stubborn. Xiao Jueshan and the elders looked at each other and smiled, looked at the high-spirited family members, and bowed their hands. We are waiting for good news. Jigu City is big or small? Yesterday, the city lord's house, Lin, and Murong invaded the Xiao family. Not only did they not get any benefits, but they were both killed by demon cultivators. The news spread overnight. Seeing the Xiao family leading their men and horses toward the Lin family to suppress them, many people felt secretly happy. Although the 3 major families have been working hard for many years. However, the Lin and Murong families colluded with the city lord's palace to steal the people's wealth and anointing, and their direct descendants even robbed them in the street. If it weren't for the checks and balances of the Xiao family, how could the people of Jigu City have a good life? If the Xiao family could really get rid of those 3 scourges, the people like them would have hope. The 3 parties, who were already frightened, almost all mobilized to support the Lin family when they saw the Xiao family heading out. The head of the Lin family was shocked and frightened when he heard his men coming to report, but he had to admire Xiao Xian's courage. The ancestors of Lin and Murong were already at the peak of their strength, not to mention that the city lord also had a cloud-penetrating arrow. Xiao Xian came to trouble them with only the spirit-nurturing monks. Did he overestimate himself or underestimate them? The city lord and Murong clan chief rushed to the Lin family together. Seeing the Lin clan chief running around anxiously, the two of them were even more frightened. When the head of the Lin family was worried, he saw the city lord coming with the cloud-piercing arrow, and his gloomy heart suddenly felt relieved. Today's crisis affects the life and death of our three families. Yes, today we should try our best to defeat Xiao Xian in one fell swoop. The three of them all knew the seriousness of the matter and dispatched all the strong men around them. Boom! The sudden collision frightened the three of them so much that their hearts beat like drums. The head of the Lin family almost fell from his chair. The head of the Murong family looked calm and composed on the surface, but in fact his whole body was stiff. Even the city lord who was born at the peak of his life had cold sweat on his hands. Hey, everyone is here, so I don't have to go looking for them one by one. Xiao Xian broke the door open and saw three people sitting in the hall. He walked in slowly with a smile. The head of the Lin family stood up, pointed at Xiao Xian and shouted angrily. Xiao Xian, you are so brave. You dare to invade my Lin family with your troops. Do you still have the law in your eyes? Do you take the city lord seriously? Xiao Xian, you are so grand, but you want to rebel. The city lord spoke immediately. You dare to be so presumptuous just after you broke through the golden body realm. If you were to advance your cultivation further, wouldn't it mean that you would turn against the imperial court? Xiao Xian stood with a sword in one hand and his hands behind his back. The city lord even invited the cloud-piercing arrow, but he doesn't even know why my lord is acting like this. Is it because his eyes are not working well or because he has forgotten his brain? Then he waved the long sword, and the sword energy was directed towards the city lord's face. Kill. The three parties have already made full preparations, and the four junior strongmen were ready to go when Xiao Xian gave the order. However, their bodies seemed to be imprisoned and unable to move. They saw a few sword lights flashing in front of their eyes, and then they stopped breathing. Seeing this, the children of the Xiao family became very angry, while the other three parties were frightened. They knew very well how powerful the golden-bodied warriors were, but they had never been so powerful. They actually killed 4 primary-level warriors who escaped in seconds. Quick! Shoot him to death with the cloud-piercing arrow. Shoot Xiao Xian to death. The city lord was so frightened that he could not speak coherently, and hurriedly pulled out the escaped 5th-level strongman who used the cloud-piercing arrow to confront Xiao Xian. Call out! A cloud-piercing arrow was fired from the hand of the escaped 5th-level monk. Followed by the 2nd and 3rd branches, each one is injected with the monk's internal energy, which can increase the power to several times its original value. Xiao Xian was unmoved as he watched the cloud-penetrating arrow approaching him. If his cultivation was still at the beginning of the golden body, he might be afraid. But now he not only has a 5th-level golden body cultivation level, but also has the blessing of system plug-ins. Even if he is standing here, the cloud-piercing arrow has no threat to him. Can a mere cloud-piercing arrow hurt me? It's time to test the power of Wanjian Gazong. Qinkan sword rises. The first move of 10,000 swords returning to the sect, the Qinkan sword rises. This move can increase its own damage and reduce the opponent's armor ability, and can cause high damage to up to 5 targets within 6 feet. The more people it attacks, the more energy it will replenish. It can also restore blood to its own sword energy, but the duration is too short. Only 3 minutes. In an instant, the sword energy turned into 5 sword lights and headed towards the cloud-piercing arrow. The two collided with each other. The powerful sword energy knocked down the monks surrounding Xiaoxian, and the cloud-piercing arrow was directly turned into ashes. Xiaoxian controlled another sword energy to attack the escaped 5th-level strongman who controlled the cloud-penetrating arrow. In one breath, he was unable to avoid it and died tragically. What? Lin and Murong, the heads of the two families, fell to the ground on the spot, their faces turned pale. Xiaoxian could even shoot a cloud-penetrating arrow in seconds, what else could he not do? Everyone's heart was extremely heavy. Xiaoxian's power had exceeded their understanding of the horror. The 4 peak escape men from the 3 parties and the city lord looked at each other. The cloud piercer arrow had been destroyed, and now they were the only ones with the strength to fight Xiaoxian. The 5 people's luck exploded their cultivation to the strongest state, and launched an attack in the air together, intending to attack from above Xiaoxian's head. Humph, you are not overestimating your own abilities. Xiaoxian snorted coldly, waved his long sword, and the 5 figures in the air stopped, and then fell directly from the air. 4 of them had their internal organs thrown out. Only the city lord managed to survive by relying on soft armor to protect his body, but he also fell to the ground with serious injuries. Xiaoxian walked forward with his sword, the tip of the sword pressed against the city lord's throat, his majestic face full of evil aura. The city lord braced himself and begged Xiaoxian for mercy with a look of fear on his face. Master Xiao, please spare me. I will never target your Xiao family again. I will also be a good official and a city lord who loves and protects the people. Seeing that Xiaoxian was unmoved, he gritted his teeth and roared. Xiaoxian, you have to consider how powerful this is. I am an official of the imperial court, the personally appointed lord of Jikou City from the southern Ming dynasty. He is also the brother-in-law of the commander of the county and city. If you kill me, you will not be afraid of being prosecuted by the court. I'm not afraid that your Xiao family will become the public enemy of my brother-in-law. No matter how much the city lord said, Xiaoxian looked at him like a clown. In order to survive, he begged. Master Xiao, as long as you spare my life, I will work hard for you and recommend you to the imperial court. Think about your clan. With a slight swing of the long sword, the city lord's head rolled down into the fighting scene and was kicked around like a ball. Then he turned around and set his sights on the fleeing heads of the Lin and Murong families. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 7. The heads of the Lin and Murong families were targeted by Xiaoxian, and they felt an invisible suppressive force trapping them. The deaths of the city lord and the 4 peak-level warriors were still fresh in their minds, and they knew they couldn't escape even if they escaped. It's better to negotiate terms with Xiaoxian and keep Qingshan here, so you don't have to worry about not being able to kill Xiaoxian. The head of the Lin family turned around and smiled flatteringly, bowing to Xiaoxian. Master Xiao, as long as you let me leave today, my Lin family is willing to give away half of our family property, oh no, all of our family property. However, what greeted him was a sword light. How can the grievances between you and me be settled by family property? Xiaoxian slowly pointed his sword at Patriarch Murong aside. Patriarch Murong was already pale with fright, and when he saw Xiaoxian's sword pointed at him, he was even more frightened. Xiaoxian, my son Murong Zhan is the eldest disciple of Elder Changfeng of Tianqian sect. Elder Changfeng is even more advanced in his golden life. If you really kill me, aren't you afraid that my son will seek revenge from you? However, his threats had no effect, and he ended up with the same fate as Patriarch Lin. Looking at the dead body of Patriarch Murong, Xiaoxian felt calm in his heart. At this time, the battle was about to end. Xiaoxian killed all the strong ones who escaped in the later stages. The strength of the remaining 3 families was not worth mentioning. The children of the Xiao family, led by Xiao Ding and Xiao Qingshan, attacked quickly and with sudden changes in their moves, beating the three parties to pieces, and many of them took advantage of the chaos to escape. The battle is over. The Lin and Murong families were wiped out. From then on, the Xiao family became the largest family in Jigu City. However, it is easy to get rich but difficult to keep a family. Although the Lin and Murong families no longer exist, their remaining power is still there. To cut weeds, we must remove the roots. The following few days. In addition to dealing with the property of the city lord's mansion and the Lin and Murong families, the Xiao family also needs to eliminate their remaining forces and those who took advantage of the chaos to escape, and completely eliminate hidden dangers. It took 3 days to solve the problem. Everyone except Xiao Xian almost fell to the ground tired and fell asleep. 3 days later, the original team gathered in the conference room, and Xiao Xian sat at the head of the table to listen to the report. After reporting what happened in the past few days, Elder Xiao Qingyun stood up and said, "Family head, although the Xiao family is strong now, we cannot take it lightly." Xiao Xian said oh and motioned for him to continue. Although the Lin family has been destroyed, he is one of the 8 major families of the Nanfan dynasty. Although it is just a branch, there is still a trace of blood connection. I am afraid that the Lin family will not let it go. It is already well known that the city lord and the commander of the county and city are brothers-in-law. With the commander of the county and city's behavior, he may also attack us because of him. Furthermore, Murong Zhan of the Murong family joined Elder Chang Feng of Tianqian sect in his early years and became his eldest disciple. Elder Chang Feng's cultivation has reached the late stage of Jin dynasty. If Tianqian sect helps Murong Zhan deal with us, I'm afraid. Xiao Qingyun's words made everyone present feel depressed. Although these 3 people were destroyed, the forces behind them should not be underestimated. Although the Xiao family has grown stronger, it has not yet reached the strength to compete with them. If one of them attacks them, it will be difficult for them. Xiao Xian showed an appreciative smile to Xiao Qingyun. Xiao Qingyun is a family steward-level figure, and all matters in the family, large and small, must be approved by him before they can take effect. Although he has retreated behind the scenes due to Li Zhuyu's performance in recent years, he still knows everything about the outside world. Now that Li Zhuyu is dead, there is no gap in the clan. It seems that Xiao Qingshan has stepped forward to regain power and take on these things again. What Elder Qingyun said is true, but this is only a one-sided understanding we have seen. Xiao Xian's index finger was slightly hooked, and he tapped on the table regularly. Everyone was attracted by Xiao Xian's words, and their eyes focused on his face. It is true that the Lin family is one of the 8 major families, but now the Nanfan dynasty is in turmoil and the situation is turbulent. The heads of the major families and the descendants of the royal family want to ascend to the supreme position. Even if they know that the side branch has been destroyed, so what? When everyone thought about it carefully, the clouds suddenly cleared and the mist cleared. The Nanfan dynasty was calm on the surface, and the major families were fighting openly and secretly. If one could be missing, one would be missing. At this juncture, even if they wanted to help, they were unable to do anything. Besides, the city lord's brother-in-law is just her daughter's concubine who became the commander of the county and city based on her beauty. With her methods, it is unlikely that the commander of the county and city will take action. As for the son of the Murong family who joined the Tianqian sect, even though he is the eldest disciple of Chang Feng, if he wants the Tianqian sect to come forward to attack the Xiao family on his behalf, unless he has something special that is beneficial to the Tianqian sect, he is not the only one in such a large section. If every disciple helps every disciple in trouble, Tianqian sect should be renamed Bodhisattva section. After listening to Xiao Xian's analysis, the big stone that was weighing on everyone's hearts finally fell to the ground. Just as everyone was about to leave, Xiao Xian asked Xiao Qingyun to take out the cloud-piercing arrow. Elder Qingyun, find an opportunity to send the cloud-piercing arrow to the army, prepare a gift, and select a suitable person from the family to be the city lord, and give it to him as well. I think they also know what to do. Xiao Xian is not worried about what the commander-in-chief of the county and city will do to him. According to his understanding, the strongest force in the army is only in the golden body realm, and there are no strong ones in the god transformation realm. But now that his strength is at the 5th level of the golden body, and with the blessing of the dragon blood battle body and kung fu, there is no need to be afraid at all. Then he snapped his fingers, and more than 10 people came in one after another, carrying dozens of white bottles in their hands. There are a total of 2,000 chi training pills here without any side effects. Elder King Yun, please distribute these chi training pills according to the merits of the clan members. Now that the Xiao family is growing stronger, the cultivation of the children of the Xiao family has also improved. If foreign enemies invade in the future, they will not even be able to fight back. There is no need to worry about strengthening one's own cultivation as it is now. Now is a great opportunity for the development of our Xiao family, and I don't want some of you to miss out on this great opportunity to practice because of insufficient resources. As long as you practice diligently, there will never be a shortage of resources, but one thing is, I don't want to see anyone worry like today again. Xiao Xian's words awakened everyone present, and the original gloomy mood was swept away. Instead of worrying about losing to your opponents, you should take this opportunity to improve yourself. Even if they do come, they won't have to be like now. Xiao Qingshan looked at the table full of chi training pills. The smile in his eyes could not be concealed by the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. This is not a chi training pill. This is clearly the fighting power and strength of everyone in the Xiao family. I will obey the instructions of my master. I will obey the instructions of my master. Xiao Qingyun's shout was a little broken. Xiao Xian looked at the scene in front of him with a smile on his lips. Why does this place look so small? While muttering to himself, he returned to the room and entered the system directly. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 8. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully completing the mission. The cultivation realm has been improved to the 7th level of the golden body rewards, an enlightenment room and a sutra pavilion, an exclusive growth level magic weapon, the Zhenyu sword, an additional increase in Wuji Kung Fu, and the acquisition of sword intent. Note, the system will additionally reward the appearance of a legendary genius within the family, and will also randomly send boundary breaking pill 10 and solid UN pill 1000. Enlightenment room, growth level. 1 day of practice here can help you reach the outside world for 10 days. You can also develop your own hidden potential by understanding the skills and breaking through the cultivation level. The faster the host improves, the higher the cultivation level, the faster the enlightenment room grows. The highest you can obtain is violent click reward. Tibetan scripture pavilion, growth level. Through system optimization, hidden talents can be discovered, stimulating and breaking through the original 3 to 5 small realms. Those with extraordinary talents can ignore the limit of realm breakthroughs. The faster the host improves, the higher the cultivation level will be. The growth of the scripture Tibetan pavilion. The faster you go, the more you can acquire god level skills, comprehend sword intent, and grow into a godly weapon. Crane Moon Sword, a growth level evolvable magic weapon, which will be strengthened as the host's strength increases. Host level, golden body level 7, magic weapon level, earth level. Gu Yuan Dan, a perfect elixir that integrates treatment, consolidation of cultivation, and improvement of realm. It is non-toxic and has no side effects. You can use it with confidence. In addition, the legendary genius has arrived in the family. Please observe carefully. After listening to the system notification, Xiao Xian smiled slightly. The rewards this time were not only growth level, but also sustainable development. Especially the Enlightenment Room and Sutra Pavilion are a big help. With the blessing of the Enlightenment Room and the solid UN pill, as well as the previous G training pills, practicing in the realm of reincarnation can be done with twice the result with half the effort. With the double blessing of the Enlightenment Chamber and the solid UN Dan, the elders Xiao Jueshan, Xiao Ji Unfeng, Xiao Qingyun and other elders have reached the peak of rebirth, and are only one step away from the golden body. The strength of other senior members of the family have also broken through the realm of reincarnation. The strength is between the 5th level of rebirth and the 7th level of rebirth. There are dozens of people who have reached the peak level of spiritual nourishment and reached the initial stage of rebirth. Many other tribesmen have also found their own best cultivation methods in the Sutra Pavilion. A very small number of talented people have broken through 3 minor realms in it and have been appreciated by several elders. In a short period of time, the overall strength of the Xiao family soared several times. News also came from the commander of the county and city. The candidate for city master recommended by the Xiao family has passed the review and can take office immediately. But he didn't mention anything about Xiao Xian killing the city lord. On the contrary, he was particularly grateful to the Xiao family for sending the cloud-piercing arrow to the army. On the other side, the Lin family was walking on thin ice due to the turbulent situation, and other families were divided into gangs, some of which were even linked to descendants of the royal family, and they had no time to care about the Xiao family's actions. On the contrary, Murongzhan was surprising. Not only did he break through the realm of rebirth while practicing in seclusion, but he also awakened his innate spirit body, which not only alarmed the leader of the Tianqian sect, but also became a key cultivation target of the Tianqian sect. Even the monks in the entire Jiggle city knew about this, because after the Xiao family eradicated 3 major cancers, all the large and small forces in Jiggle city had contacts with the Xiao family. After Murongzhan awakened his special innate spirit body and became the key cultivation target of Tianqian sect, they all began to deliberately distance themselves from each other. Although after the Xiao family took charge of Jiggle city, all aspects including merchants, common people and cultivators have improved, but in order to preserve their own strength, they had to keep a distance from the Xiao family. Tianqian sect is one of several major sections regardless of their strength or cultivation level, they are not something they can afford to offend. While I was worried about the Xiao family, I was also confused about their future. Xiao Xian didn't care about this, and he didn't care that outsiders kept a distance from the Xiao family to protect themselves. In a world where the strong eat the weak, the fittest will survive, and the strong will always be strong, not to mention that this is a matter between the Xiao family and Tianqian sect. Because Murongzhan awakened his innate spirit body and was cultivated as a seed player by Tianqian sect, it was a difficult matter for the Xiao family. Xiao Xian needed to be consulted to convene a meeting. From the beginning of the meeting, Xiao Xian found that Chopin was in a depressed mood, and stopped him directly after the meeting. Elder Xiao Bang, stay here. I see that you look solemn these days, but what's the matter? Xiao Xian asked him with concern. Hearing this, Xiao Bang felt warm in his heart when he saw Xiao Xian's concerned look, and then shook his head. It's nothing serious, I'm just angry at my rebellious son. It is embarrassing to say that my rebellious son Xiao Jiangzhen has been worshipping Fenjian sect since he was a child, but he has not made much progress in his cultivation. Recently, Murongzhan broke through the realm of rebirth and awakened his innate spirit body. Comparing the two, he was expelled from the Fenjian sect on the grounds that his qualifications were too poor and not suitable for cultivation. Chopin sighed heavily, his face full of worry. I originally thought that if I didn't have the talent to practice, I wouldn't practice. It would also be great to learn from Elder Qingyun in the future and become a great steward. But the treacherous son was unwilling to participate in family affairs and only wanted to cultivate. With his qualifications, there would be no way out even if he cultivated for a lifetime. This is a very common thing in the Suanman family. Those with good talent and qualifications will not only be appreciated by large sects and become inner disciples, but they will also be able to occupy a place among monks in the future. On the contrary, those with poor talents and mediocre qualifications will be arranged by the family to do other professions when they reach adulthood, while ordinary people will inherit the mantle of their parents. People like Xiao Jiangzhen will be arranged to go to branches in other places to practice. After gaining some experience, they will be arranged to be managers in the family or inherit the family property. Xiao Xian comforted Xiao Bang and asked Xiao Bang to bring Xiao Jiangxin over. After all, he was the main reason why Xiao Jiangxin was expelled from Fenjian sect. It was said that he was expelled due to lack of qualifications, but it was because Tianqian sect had a grudge against the Xiao family. The reason why the commanders of the county and city compromised was because they were not strong enough, but Tianqian sect was different. Not only did they have elders with golden bodies and above, but there were also powerful people who transformed themselves into gods. There was no need for Fenjian sect to fight against Tianqian sect for a disciple with mediocre qualifications. Xiao Xian thought for a moment. Bring Xiao Jiangxin here, I'll have a good chat with him, maybe he'll figure it out. Xiao Bang was flattered. Although this was his family matter, Xiao Xian was willing to come forward to coordinate, which proved that he took them into his heart. Within a moment, Xiao Bang brought Xiao Jiangxin over. If it weren't for the heroic spirit between Xiao Jiangxin's brows and the unruly spirit emanating from his bones, looking at her appearance, he would have thought she was a very good-looking woman. The younger generation Xiao Jiangxin has met the clan leader. Xiao Jiangxin saluted Xiao Xian with a calm expression. His attitude was neither humble nor arrogant. Xiao Xian nodded, very satisfied with Xiao Jiangxin. The moment Xiao Jiangxin entered the door, Xiao Xian used the insight of his chaotic pupils to check. Xiao Jiangxin, at the 7th level of Qi training, he is a natural swordsman. He can understand all sword-related skills and martial arts at a glance, and can integrate new skills due to years of practice. The sword's heart is dusty and the sword's eye is cloudy. If the turbidity is removed and the dust is removed, and appropriate exercises are practiced, one can reach the legendary state. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 9. After listening to the introduction of the system, Xiao Xian knew that Xiao Jiangxin was the legendary talent he was looking for. I also know another reason why Fenjian sect expelled him. At the age of 18, he was still stuck at the 7th level of Qi training, and there was no sign of improvement. It may be fine in Jigu City, and his qualifications are even pretty good, but it is not good enough in the Suanman family, let alone in a sect like Fenjian sect. No wonder Fenjian sect expelled him. This qualification is really impossible to use. But this is a good thing for Xiao Xian. After all, the legendary genius does not just appear, let alone such a one only appears with the blessing of the system. It was simply a huge bargain. I heard from your father that you don't want to get involved in family affairs and just want to practice. So are you continuing to practice because you are unwilling to be expelled from the sect, or are you practicing because you are passionate? Xiao Xian tried his best to make his smile look friendly, but in Xiao Jiangxin's eyes, it turned into status oppression. Xiao Jiangxin lowered his eyes when he heard this, feeling aggrieved and unwilling. His father couldn't persuade him, but he actually invited the clan leader to persuade him to give up and then manage the family affairs. He couldn't laugh or cry in his heart. After thinking for a moment, he gave Xiao Xian a half-forced smile. Yes. Rather than managing family affairs, I want to continue practicing. But it's not because I am unwilling to be expelled from the sect, but because I love practicing. Xiao Xian saw that the darkness in Xiao Jiangxin's eyes was gradually replaced by light, and he knew that what he said was true. But before he could speak, the grumpy Xiao Bang slapped Xiao Jiangxin angrily. If you want to continue practicing, then you have to see what kind of virtue you are. At the age of 18, you are only at the 7th level of Qi training. Even if you practice for a lifetime, you will not reach the level of spiritual nourishment. Letting you manage family affairs is for your own good. Father, I know you are doing it for my own good, but if you don't let me continue to practice, What's the difference between me and a walking corpse? Xiao Xian quickly interrupted Xiao Bang and motioned for him to go out first. If Xiao Jiangxin's current state is not properly guided, he may go astray, and then he will be in trouble. You are free to do whatever you want, but you have to remember that after you make a choice, you can't look back even if there are mountains of swords and seas of fire in front of you. Xiao Jiangxin was surprised and looked at Xiao Xian. Although he was in great awe of Xiao Xian, he also mustered up his courage. He had to prove his determination. Since I have chosen to practice this path, I will never give up easily. Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Jiangxin's determined eyes and became more and more satisfied. 3,000 worlds, 3,000 avenues, you choose cultivation as the goal of Kyoji's life. Have you ever thought about whether your cultivation method is correct? In other words, you have been practicing on the wrong path from the beginning. There is not just one kind of cultivation. Kung Fu, martial arts, swordsmanship, etc. are all types of cultivation. I see that you have wonderful bones and are naturally arrogant. Have you ever thought about practicing sword practice? Xiao Jiangxin frowned. Among all the cultivation paths, he only disliked practicing swordsmanship, and even felt a little disgusted with it. Sword training not only places extremely high demands on the body, but also requires a sword mind. Even a genius with extremely high talents and qualifications may not necessarily be able to occupy a place among practitioners after practicing hard for a lifetime. Xiao Xian saw that Xiao Jiangxin had a natural resistance to practicing swordsmanship, so he was not in a hurry to let him get in touch with him. Don't rush to reject me. I'm just a suggestion. Let's go to the Sutra Pavilion and choose the exercises that suit you. If you come back from the Sutra Pavilion, you still want to continue your current practice method, then I won't force you. Xiao Jiangxin wanted to refuse directly. But thinking that many of the tribesmen around me had found exercises that suited them and understood the great ways, I still went to the Sutra Tiding Pavilion. The Sutra Pavilion was officially opened after the Lin, Murong, and City Lord families were destroyed. It contains a collection of various exercises and martial arts, arranged according to practice methods and levels. The higher you go, the higher the level. The higher the level, the higher the requirements for the level of cultivation. Generally speaking, the higher the level of cultivation, the higher the level of the matching skills. Xiao Jiangxin walked around the Sutra Pavilion for several times and found that the high-level skills could not be opened with his strength, and the low-level skills were useless to him. His temper gradually became irritable, and finally he was ready to leave directly. When he came to the door, he suddenly remembered what Xiao Xian said to choose according to your heart, so he turned around and went in, closed his eyes and calmly chose according to his intuition. 3 light spots appeared in the sea of consciousness, and Xiao Jiangxin moved his mind, and the 3 books came into his hands. Qingpingju, the pinnacle of Xian-level martial arts. The Earth-level elementary mental technique, the immeasurable technique. Heaven-level body movement and sword wave gliding step. The 3 books are all related to swords, so I subconsciously put them all back. But thinking that he had just walked around the Tibetan scripture pavilion a few times and found nothing, Xiao Jiangxin suppressed his disgust and started reading. Within 10 breaths, Xiao Jiangxin felt that the sea of consciousness became more ethereal than ever before, and the contents of the 3 books began to circulate in the sea of consciousness. The surrounding spiritual energy gathered around him and began to forge, with countless sword shadows hovering in the air. Xiao Jiangxin's cultivation level directly broke through the 2nd level of bone tempering from the 7th level of qi training. The sword shadow turned into reality and merged into a long sword, hiding above Xiao Jiangxin's head. From a distance, it looked like it was surrounded by divine light. The moment he opened his eyes, a ray of sword light burst out from his eyes, and the original 2nd level bone tempering cultivation continued to break through, and it did not stop until the bone tempering peak. Xiao Jiangxin exhaled a breath and looked at the yellow sword shadows in his palm. It was those sword shadows that transformed him. He not only understood the meaning of the sword, but also obtained the accompanying artifact. Leaving the Sutra Pavilion, Xiao Jiangxin went straight to Xiao Xian and knelt down to express his sincere thanks with the highest courtesy. "Thank you very much, Master, for your kindness in rebuilding." Jiangxin is deeply grateful. Even though there was a system prompt first, Xiao Xian was still shocked by the change in Xiao Jiangxin. This is not a legendary genius, this is clearly a legendary pervert. It didn't matter that he broke through the realm and understood the meaning of the sword. He actually obtained the companion artifact. Is the Tibetan scripture pavilion so powerful? His strength is already so terrifying. But think about it, as the chosen son, and with the blessing of the system, he has to be a monster to be worthy of this setting. Xiao Xian waved his hand calmly. "I am also a sword cultivator, but I don't want to see a sword cultivator with excellent qualifications being dusted. Although you have understood the meaning of the sword and become a sword cultivator, you must also remember not to be arrogant and complacent, and guard against arrogance and impetuosity. You must know that there is a world outside the world, and your practice has just begun." Xiao Jiangxin was convinced by Xiao Xian's words. The feeling of complacency in his heart disappeared instantly. "Kenshin will follow the teachings of my master." Xiao Xian nodded and returned to his room. The system suddenly sent a reward at this time, which surprised him. Ding! Xiao Jian's Heart Sutra Pavilion breaks through the realm and understands the sword's intention. The host can get a novice critical hit reward and a self-selected reward. Critical hit rewards are distributed randomly: Breaking Realm Pill 10, Chi Training Pill 500, Solid UN Pill 200, Redemption Point 1000. Self-selected rewards: Chi Lian Dan 1000, Gaiwan Dan 2000, please choose. Xiao Xian ordered the Solid UN pill without thinking. With these pills, everyone in the Xiao family can practice more efficiently with less effort. If there are a few more geniuses like Xiao Jiangxin, then he can retire early and live the life of an elderly person. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 10. Tianqian Sect, on the mountain peak of Elder Changfeng. At this time, Elder Changfeng, who was at the peak of his golden body, looked at Murongzhan, who was practicing with satisfaction. As expected of an innate spiritual body, his cultivation is 3 times that of ordinary people. In just a few months, he has gone from the first stage of rebirth to the 3rd stage of rebirth. For ordinary disciples, it would take decades to complete. Given time, they will be able to cultivate to the legendary realm. At this time, Murongzhan adjusted his breath, ended his training, and looked at Elder Changfeng. "Master, my disciple failed." Elder Changfeng stepped forward and patted him on the shoulder. "You are only over 20 years old now, but you have already achieved such a level of cultivation. As long as you practice with concentration, it won't take long for you to surpass the master. It will only be a matter of time before you break through to the 3rd level." "Disciple understands," Murongzhan said in a deep voice, with an evil spirit gathering between his brows. "Master knows that you are deeply worried about the genocide of the Murong family. Since you are my eldest disciple and a key training target of Tianqian Sect, the genocide of the Murong family will not stop there. Master and Tianqian Sect will also not stop there. I will seek justice for you." Elder Changfeng knew very well that Murongzhan had inner demons due to the annihilation of his family. If the inner demons were not removed, a generation of genius would probably perish. With this in mind, he went to the sect leader's peak to discuss countermeasures with the sect master. Now that Murongzhan's inner demons have been fulfilled, he can no longer improve his cultivation. If he continues like this, his Taoist heart will become unstable. Only by destroying the Xiao family can he get rid of his inner demons. The sect leader nodded after hearing this. Now Murongzhan has awakened his innate spirit body and is a seed player that Tianqian sect focuses on cultivating. If Tianxuanzong destroyed the Xiao family and got rid of his inner demons for him, Murongzhan would definitely be more loyal to Tianxuanzong with his character. In addition, without the ties of family blood, Murongzhan will rely on Tianqian sect and be completely used by them. By then, with Murongzhan's innate spiritual body and cultivation level, it will be just around the corner to develop Tianqian sect into the first sect. What Elder Changfeng said is absolutely true. The inner demons must be resolved as soon as possible. In this way, you and the two elders will accompany you to solve the problem quickly. Elder Changfeng told Murongzhan about this, and Murongzhan felt happy. He originally wanted to go for revenge alone, but Xiao Xian was too powerful, and he was afraid that he would be dead before he even got close. Now that Tian Xianzong is willing to help him, that's the best thing. Murongzhan knelt down on one knee. Thank you, Master, for your help. Murongzhan will keep it in mind. The great revenge will be avenged. Tian Xianzong is my disciple's second home. You are also my disciple's reborn parent. Elder Changfeng felt even more satisfied when he heard Murongzhan's words of loyalty. Then he invited two 5th-level Golden Body Guardians to help, and a group of 4 rushed towards the Xiao family in Jigu City. Ding, there is murderous intent approaching the Xiao family. Mission release, kill Elder Changfeng, Murongzhan, and others to resolve the family crisis. Complete the mission to get high rewards. This day still came, but he didn't expect it to come so late, and his sword was almost rusty. Click on the main panel of the system, click on personal information, and all information about him will be displayed in front of you. Name, Xiao Xian. Sex, male. Physique, creation dragon blood combat body. Cultivation realm, golden body 7th level. Martial skills, Wanji Ungazong, proficiency, 15%. Skill, Walongju, proficiency, 0.1%. Weapon, Earth level waning moon sword. Xiao Xian is still very confident in his own strength. At his current level of cultivation, no one can be his opponent except the old monster from Tianqian sect. Even if the old monster takes action, he is not afraid. There are still many systems that have been used to complete the mission these few times. There are 2 immortal golden body experience cards alone, not to mention the more than 2,000 redemption points in hand. Any exchange for anything in the system can make the old monster die hundreds of times. 3 days later, Murongzhan and others arrived at Jigu City. The vision attracted many large and small Suanmen to check. They learned that Tianqian sect and others were here, and many Suanmen closed their doors to thank the guests. Seeing that the development of Jigu City was better than before, Murongzhan remained unmoved. He only came here to avenge the genocide, and he had nothing to do with the life or death of the rest of the people. Stopping for a moment not far from Xiao's house, Murongzhan came to the family's ancestral graves and knelt on the ground looking at the new graves with scarlet eyes. Father, it's too late for the child to be unfilial. Don't worry. Today, the child will bloodbath the Xiao family and take his head from Xiao Xian's neck as a sacrifice to your spirit in heaven to avenge you and your family. Seeing Murongzhan in this state, Elder Changfeng was worried that his inner demon would devour him, so he asked 2 guardians to go to the Xiao family in advance to take the lead. After Murongzhan's mood stabilizes, let him personally take Xiao Xian's head to get rid of his inner demons. After receiving the order, the guardian quickly went to the Xiao family. The 2 of them stayed above the Xiao family, crossing their arms and looking down at the Xiao family below, as if they were looking at ants. I am the protector of the Tianqian sect, and I am here today on behalf of Murongzhan to attack the Xiao family's hatred for annihilation. Alert! Emergency alert! Tianxuanzong is invading, be on alert urgently. Everyone in the Xiao family hurriedly used formations to fight. Did you ask me for my opinion when you attacked my clansmen? You dare to be so arrogant in my territory, Xiao Xian. You two are tired of living, Xiao Xian's gloomy voice came from somewhere. The huge movement attracted the attention of everyone in Jikou City. The Xiao family is in dire straits now. There is only one way to die against Xianzong. Although the head of the Xiao family has a golden body, his two fists are no match for his four hands. The two great protectors of Tianqian sect have a 5th level golden body cultivation level, not to mention Elder Chang Feng. The Xiao family is afraid that it will come to an end. Seeing that Xiao Xian did not show up, the two sneered and thought he was bluffing. Released pressure on the Xiao family, one of the protectors murmured, and a huge shadow appeared behind him. He raised his big foot, and the world changed, forming a hurricane heading towards the Xiao family. With this kick, the entire Xiao family will be destroyed. Everyone in the Xiao family felt an invisible sense of oppression and did not even have the ability to move, let alone fight back. As the shadows continued to fall, many members of the Xiao family were pressed to the ground by the pressure, and their internal organs felt crowded. The two guardians sneered again and again, but the ants were nothing more than that, so they gathered their strength and stepped down. You dare to hurt my people in front of me. If you don't spare your lives today, I, Xiao Xian, will have no face to face. Everyone in the Xiao family seeing Xiao Xian's figure appearing above the Xiao family, everyone in the Xiao family suddenly felt at ease. As several rays of golden sword light hit his face, the sharp sword energy instantly dispelled the oppressive feeling. The sword energy was thrown towards the phantom. If the guardian beside him had not reacted in time, the other guardian would have disappeared like the phantom. Humph, you are not overestimating your abilities. Today I will let you recognize the difference between yourself and the strong. The two guardians were furious after hearing this, and they were about to take action again. Really? Then you have to take my sword. Xiao Xian swung his sword, and the Qinqin sword struck towards the two of them with endless killing intent. The two of them felt that they were enveloped in murderous aura and had no way to escape. Their expressions were horrified. At this time, Elder Chang Feng, who was in the Murong family's ancestral tomb, was shocked and sent a message from thousands of miles away: if you kill these two, you will be completely enemies of our Tianqian sect.